Hello there, very good afternoon to you all. How are you? What's your weather like and where in the world are you? What have you been up to for the last few days since we spoke last? Well, it's Website Wednesday, so I've got some new things to show you. And just before we start, yes, the mugs are back in stock. So if you missed out before, we've got the scissors and we've got the tape measure back in stock again. So I wanted to put that out there really quickly because they sold out so quickly last time around. So now you know. Hello Christine, hello Alana, and Celia, Sue, hello, Colette's first in from YouTube today. Hi Nancy, hi Brian, and Margaret and Angela, hello Lisa. Nice and sunny in Tamworth, lovely. It's nice here actually. I'm going to go and take the dog for a nice long walk after we've finished here today. It's lovely. Hello Amanda Kitty in Sweden. And hello Dorothy, morning Christine. We're busy, aren't we, today? Right, we are going to make, oh thanks Debbie, we're very good, thank you. We're going to make a disappearing 4-patch cushion cover with an invisible zip. So I'll show you how to do that, because I said last week, didn't I, we'll do an invisible zip, but I thought we'd do something a little bit different with it as well. And putting the invisible zip into a cushion cover is a bit different to putting it into a dress or a skirt, because of course with those cases it opens at the top. This doesn't, it's got a seam at the end of each end of the zip. So I'm going to do a slightly larger version of this one. Kirsty's finished work. Hello Mary McHugh and Shirley, hello. Hello Barbara in Milan. Oh, we're all over the place again, aren't we, today? Sunny in Stoke, says Pamela. I want to show the fabric. This arrived, you know what it's like, I don't order it. I just open the packages when they arrive here, and I thought it was jersey until I took it out of the packaging, and it is the softest fleece. It's brushed. It's, you know, we were talking the other day about flannelette cotton. Oh, it feels like that. It's so soft, and it's the kind of thing you imagine housecoats and pajamas and children's clothing and bedding. And I thought, actually, wouldn't a cushion cover be lovely in it, because you can really snuggle up to it as we get into these cooler months. Yes, Lisa, I did make the little box. I shall show you that in just a second. That's the Half Yard Club project that's come out today, actually, yes. So, Carol, we have this one. These are all fleeces, remember, but there's also like a grey blue version. These are just, that's honestly out. One day we'll have touchy feely telly, won't we, and you'll be able to put your hands through the screen and just feel these. They're art gallery fabrics as well, so you know they're lovely quality too. So that one goes with that. And have a look on the new on the website, by the way. If you're new, it's debbieshawsewing.com. That's my website. My daughter runs it, and probably twice a week we have large deliveries of fabric coming through. We've had a lot more than this actually, but I'm spreading it out a little, otherwise we'd be here for an hour just talking about the new fabrics. But these are just wonderful. They're so soft. You'll be over the moon with them. Alana trying to make a really firm base. You don't have to use a handbag base particularly, Alana. How about, it depends what you're going to use it for. Mood board works very well, or plywood, or a thin piece of MDF. Not so good if you get them wet, that's the only thing, but that's a good option for a bag base. So I'm just making cathedral cushions. Thank you, Lisa. So that's the link on YouTube, debbieshawsewing.com. That's where you find everything. But then look, so we've got the check and the blue. Look at this one, Christmas. It reminds me of a Christmas jumper, but again, it's a fleece. It's like brushed cotton. It's so soft, and although the colour isn't exact, it matches as close as you could, and it also goes really well with the peach option too, as does the floral one. This is the one that was on the Debbie will be with you in a minute thing that's at the beginning of the videos. In fact, that goes with everything. Like, it goes with the blues, it goes with the peaches, and it goes with the gold. So that's it for fleeces, but they all mix and match really well together. But I think it's quite nice to see something a bit different like that, particularly if you're thinking about a bit of Christmas or winter sewing. That would make a lovely little garment, maybe a blouse or a shirt for a child. Sarah, I'm glad you're tempted. I just think they're beautiful. They're really Really lovely quality as well. Not like the brush cotton sheets that we were talking about the other day. These are a lot heavier. Hello, Wendy. Mary, we must have, I think we've got about 850 lines, so not all fabric. Some of them are threads and scissors and haberdashery and stuff like that. Yes, I've got quite a large warehouse now, full of stuff. Hello, Linda. Bobbin's disappeared off outside. She's going to have a bark at somebody or other. Use the sheet cutting boards in supermarkets or pound shops. That's a good idea. Alana, Jane says she uses cheap cutting mats from the supermarkets and pound shops as bag bases. Such a good idea. I am going to steal that one from you and make it my very own. No, I won't. That was, sorry, Jane. All credit for that, Jane. That's a brilliant idea. So those are the fleeces. Hello, Virginia in Texas. Welcome along. Let me show you the rest of the fabrics here that we've got. Do that in a minute. These are such good fun. And again, a little bit different. So yes, you're looking at Christmas fabric, but look, it's Baby Yoda in stockings and in presents. And to coordinate, there's Baby Yoda. Apparently a very popular character at the moment, this Baby Yoda. I didn't realise, Kim was telling me all about it. The best things come in small packages. Season's greetings. And there he is again. They're lovely. Again, they're all under the new in. They'll be under Christmas on the website as well. Hello, Deborah in Massachusetts. Oh, Sarah. Oh, I hope you can. Are you all right? You're just a bit bored. You're feeling down. I hope you haven't got it too badly. East London in South Africa. Valerie, didn't know there was an East London in South Africa. Oh, there you go. Hello to you too. So that's Baby Yoda. And then look, this is Hogwarts. But it almost looks like cross stitch, look. I'd rather stay at Hogwarts this Christmas. It's nice, isn't it? Because it's quite subtle. And again, a little bit of fun. And then look at this one. I love this film. I don't know about you. Beetlejuice, one of my favourites. I think I've seen that film so many times and it still makes me smile. I'm going to show you the little box in a second, Cindy. That is a Half Yard Club project for this month. I think it's just come out. I'll show you that in a minute. Hello, Sheila in Newcastle. Please could you shout out to Lyra and Matilda. Oh, Lyra and Matilda, hello to you. Welcome along. They're with their grandma Chris. Oh, you have a nice time with your grandma Chris. I was with my grandchildren. Yeah, Beetlejuice. I just love the film. I think it's just so funny. So here he is. Look. And again, from a distance, you wouldn't know. I think it's quite subtle. I think that's really fabulous fabric. Hello, Heidi in Norway. And there we have Gremlins, but when he was cute, before he got wet, look. So that's, again, these are not all Christmassy ones. That certainly isn't Christmassy. Trust no one. Multiples when wet, or multiplies when wet, sorry. You have been warned. Feed me. Feed me. Hello, Doreen. Grogu, is that what it is? Grogu's Baby Yoda. Oh, Sarah, I'm glad you're all right. I just missed a message on Facebook about join the Half Yard Club over 10 days ago. You should have had a confirmation email, and you should have 10 days ago. You should have had your project today. Your second project should have come through today, so you should have got your email as well. So, Jill, could you email? Let me write this one down for you. So excuse me just a second while I reply to Jill. It is replying to Jill. Here we go. info@halfyardsewingclub.com. If you drop them an email, one of the girls will get back to you, probably today actually, because they're normally really on the ball with things like that. That's replying to Jill. Did you get that? Yeah, so they'll get back to you straight away, but you should have had something by now, so I'm sorry about that. But they'll double check. I don't have anything to do with subscriptions and all of that kind of thing. That's all taken care of at head office. So I can't get back to you. What's going on there? Have we frozen? Oh, there we go. Sorry if I'm missing any of the messages, by the way. Hello, Rita in Malta. How long have you been sewing? I can't remember when I first started sewing, to be honest, because my mum was a dressmaker and she was very generous, so there's always a cupboards and drawers full of fabrics in the house, and I could do what I wanted with it, basically. So it was mainly hand sewing when I was little, but I used to make my dolls' clothes, and I used to make curtains in shoe boxes for Barbie dolls and things like that. And I must have been, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5, something like that. I can't remember. I've always been sewing. Love that one, the Beetlejuice fabric again, yeah. Amanda, we've got plenty at the moment. If you want more, don't leave it too long, because you know what it's like. I'll be in trouble by the time we come off the end of the day. The fleece is flannel. Fleece is flannel, isn't it? Oh, it's not. No, I'm wrong. Sorry. It's flannel. It is flannel, not fleece. I thought it was jersey, like a fleecy jersey, I was saying when I first got it home, but it's like a brushed cotton, which is flannel, isn't it? Sorry, I got confused. So it's not stretchy. It does move a little bit, I'll warn you, because it's I think it's quite a loose weave. But the nice thing is it's brushed on both sides. So it's comfy on the inside as well as on the outside. Shirley didn't get an email either. Could you email the team then again on the same email address, info@halfyardsewingclub.com, and they'll be able to sort you out. You should have got your email this morning with your second project, which is this one, which I'll show you. So I don't know what's going on there, but like I said, I don't deal with that side of things with the Half Yard Club. That's down to Search Press. Christmas and Halloween fabric. That's a good idea. Saves you ironing everything, doesn't it? Right, this is your second project for the Half Yard Club. The fabric I've used is my next fabric range that's coming out. I don't know when that's coming in yet still, I'm sorry about that. So I've had about 1 metre of everything just to make samples with, and this is what one of the things that I've made. My girls have been making up some very beautiful things, but I'll show you those when the fabric actually comes in. So it is an exploding box, so when you take the lid off, get all these layers of storage to keep your notions in, and you can actually fit quite a lot, you know, not huge scissors or anything, but they'll fit a small pair of snips in there. So with this one, all of my buttons are spilling. Got buttons in the middle and clips around the edge, and my quick unpick, and these are perfect for pins because they're all padded. There's not a lot of sewing in it, to be honest. Apart from putting the pockets on and maybe a little bit of hand sewing towards the end, and it's all nicely padded and lined, and I think that would make a really nice gift for somebody who sews, don't you? Now I've chosen to put some applique on the front. You don't need to, you could do more, you could put it on the top, you can decorate that as much as you like, but all I did here was just fussy cut out some of the sewing machines off my fabric and glue them on. That's all I've done there. So there's a lot of gluing. If you wanted to put a ribbon around here, put bows on there, then you can do. You know, you can decorate it to your heart's content. So really, what I'm giving you is quite a basic project that you can embellish as much as you like. So again, when you open it up, that's what you get inside. And I think it's quite unexpected as well. If you are giving this as a gift to somebody, it's quite an unexpected surprise. And actually, you know, it doesn't have to be for somebody who sews, because all households need scissors and safety pins and needles and stuff like that, don't they? Well, Margaret, it's the 15th, so you should have had your email. I had one this morning. Sylvie says hers went into spam. Don't know, email them. Email the girls, and probably Claire or Caroline will get back to you. That's a nice idea, Nancy. Fill it with sweets and things, couldn't you? Anyway, hello Hassana in Lebanon. Nice to have you along as well. Oh, a couple of more things just to mention quickly. Gutermann recycled thread, made from recycled pop bottles, plastic bottles. We've had them on the website for quite a while. I think we've got lights and there's darks and there's basics or something like that. But this is the first time we've actually had 20 reels in a box altogether. If you haven't used this before, it feels like sew-all cotton or thread. You'd imagine that something made from recycled bottles would feel plasticky or like polyester or something shiny, but no, it feels like cotton, and it's matte, it's not shiny at all. I can't remember the price offhand. Again, have a look under new in and it'll give you the price there, but the price isn't very much different to normal thread, and normally when you get these recycled things they can be a little bit expensive. Yes, Sarah, you can sell whatever you like. Anything that I design, I'm very happy for you to sell. Not the actual patterns, understandably, but if you do want to found, not found and opened it for the box. Again, email info@halfyardsewingclub.com. They'll sort you out, Sandra. Yes, Claire, we can do that in a minute if you like while I think about it. I do encourage selling. Do you know, because what difference does it make to me whether you go out and sell stuff or not? And to be honest, if you make some money out of something that I've come up with, or an article I've written in a magazine, or a book that I've designed projects for, you might come back and order more. So that's how it's going to benefit me. And if you can, then a credit would be very nice, but you know, how would I know? So no, I'm very pleased if you will make any money, whether it's, you know, selling for yourself or for gifts or for charity or whatever. Go make money. That's absolutely fine by me. That's a pleasure, Anne. And one other thing, don't forget your Half Yard Club discounts when you're ordering on the website. We have Prim 45mm rotary cutting blades. You can use them with Olfas, you can use them with your, what have I got here, Fiskas, so simple. They'll fit any 45mm rotary cutter. So we did have Olfa, we've got Prim this time. I don't think we could get hold of the Olfa ones. But don't think, oh well, I haven't got a Prim rotary cutter so I can't use those. You can use those with your Olfas. No problem at all. Couldn't open mine. How very strange. I wonder what's going on there. Leslie got her email. Thank goodness somebody got their emails. Hi Leanna. Should we do some sewing? Should we do that? I will do a YouTube video for this as well, for those of you that don't like chat. We don't get very many these days, but if you don't like chat. But I'm not sure when it's going to be because I'm a bit busy. I have to walk that dog when I finish today. Tomorrow my car's going in the garage. Then I'm down the office. Might be Friday before I can get around to doing another video. What do I need to do if I'm not receiving emails regarding projects? Trudy, let me give you the email address as well. I'll post this on YouTube because that's a little bit odd. I had one. Bit odd that they're not coming through. So get in touch with the girls. info@.com. There. info@halfyardsewingclub.com. If you're not a member of the Half Yard Sewing Club, have a look at all the W's halfyardsewingclub.com. It is a subscription website. It's $5.99 a month, or £60 or $59.99 for a whole year. You get 2 months free if you join for a year, but you do get a month free if you want to have a look around and see what it's like and see if you like the projects. You get 2 projects a month. So this month, what was your main one? Oh, actually you could do it in the same fabric as the sewing set. Is a scissor case and a sewing roll, and there's a video for the main one. And then your second project doesn't have a video, but you do get patterns and step-by-step instructions. And there's the block of the month, which is the seminal patchwork down here. And there's lots of hints and tips and more videos on there and all that kind of stuff. So if you're wondering what on earth we're talking about, have a look at halfyardsewingclub.com and give it a 3 month trial. What you need to do is to type in the word welcome in capital letters when you go to checkout, and you'll get yourself a 3 months. Again, oh, Sylvia's went to spam. I'm not going to line the cushion, Leslie, this time because I just wanted it to be quick. It's mainly to show you about the invisible zip on this one. Oh, thank you, Wendy. My Julie got hers okay. Shirley got hers okay. Suzanne, you don't get emails either. It may be, before we had the new website, we had quite a few people saying that they didn't get emails and newsletters. If you don't tick the box to say that you want to receive them, then you're not going to get them. You should get your projects, because that's how we do things. But newsletters and things like that, I think you have to tick the box to say that you want to receive them. So if you go into your account, you should be able to do that yourself. I think a lot of people, when you see, do you want to receive emails? I do automatically, no, I don't want those, because I think somebody's trying to sell me something, or spam or marketing or something like that. But that might be what it is. So just check on your account. Thank you, Alice. Loving the flannel. I bought the blue with the bears and the plain pink. Oh, plan to do kits for next year's Block of the Month quilt. Yes, I will do kits for next year's Block of the Month quilt. I can't get the exact colours that have been used in the making up of the quilt though, but I've got as close as I can. So that'll be, when do we start teasing you with that? Probably November, December time. But yes, I will be doing those. Nancy's making gifts for family. Oh, right. Let's do some sewing. So this one is a 12-inch. Is it 12-inch? Looks smaller than 12-inch. Hang on a minute. Let me use the biggest ruler I can find. Oh, 11. It's 11-inch. Finished size of 11-inch square. And this one I used 6-inch squares of fabric. So this one I'm going to make a bit bigger, because my finished, what am I going to make? Is my finished cushion pads bigger on this one? Do you know, I've got cupboards full of these things, never throw them away. So the finished size is going to be 13 inch. It's going to be a couple of inches bigger than that one. Right, put you there. So first thing we're going to do is to sew the squares together. So I've cut, these are 9-inch squares, and we need to sew them together like that. I'm just going to pull that back a little bit like that, so you don't quite see the top of my head every time we go to that camera. Right, we need to sew them together. Sorry, oh no, not like that, like that. Okay, so I'll line them in just a minute. I know they're a little bit wrinkly. So if you're using fabric with a right and wrong side, the solid colour doesn't have a right and wrong side, but the check does. You know, the nice thing about this I noticed as well, it's a print, obviously, and a lot of the times with prints you can't guarantee that they're going to be square, but this is really square. I was quite impressed. I was a little bit concerned about cutting something square from something printed with squares, because the squares aren't always square. Did that make any sense at all? Right, so I'm just going to use a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. See what happens over here. Oh look, that's okay, isn't it? That way. There we go. And let's just sew down there. And then we'll take the second two and sew these together in the same manner. Becky B in Ohio. Well, hello. Finally able to catch you live. Love watching you teach different techniques. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy them. Oh, Suzanne's put oh yes, you can put your photo on the Half Yard Club website as well. Oh, I forgot to tie a knot in the end of the thread, didn't I? I'll do it in just a second. Sorry. Got chatting. Cushion pad stuffed with that one, like a feather one. No, actually, do you know what? This is feather. I hate them. I don't know where it came from. It's a very old one, and it just happened to be the right size. But I would never go out and buy feather. It's just. So I like I like hollow fibre. But the thing is with a lot of hollow fibres, I mean, you get what you pay for, really, don't you? The hollow fibre can, it doesn't go into the points of the corners perfectly, I've found. So what I tend to do is to take a little bit of toy filling after I've made the cushion cover and stuff it into the corner just to fill it out a little bit. But no, I'm not a fan of feathers. Oh, I love it when you chat to each other. Right, iron. So I'm looking around thinking I'm supposed to be doing something here. Oh, that went on the floor. Come here, there we go. Karen and Kay. Oh, there's 3 of you in a hive. We've got Becky and Karen and Brian. You could be all neighbours. We've got Janice in Tennessee. Hello to you. Jean. Oh, we're nearly done now. You've missed so much. Let's watch it back. Have I done throws with shearing tape? With shearing elastic? I know. Is shearing tape a thing? Or do you mean shearing elastic? Never. Oh, actually, Sarah, I did make a duvet cover once upon a time for a single bed. Oh gosh, that took me back. That was a long time ago. It's finding the fabric that's wide enough, isn't it? Pressing the seams to one side in opposite directions. So that's how we're going to go together. So I've pressed that seam in that direction, and this seam is going to be pressed in the opposite direction. I just think the feathers belong on birds, personally, Sarah, that's why I don't like it. First quilt was a hidden 9 patch. It's actually really easy, isn't it, Lisa? I love techniques like this, like the seminar. Have you done any of those, Lisa? Made any of the panels? Look really complicated, and it's so satisfying when you cut the fabric up, you repiece it, and it works. And it looks so complicated, and it's not. It's really easy. Right. Oops, that goes there. Let's sew these together. So because I've ironed these facing opposite directions, it just means that when I come to the centre seam, they butt up against each other really nicely. And because that is kind of the main part of the patchwork, I'm going to stick a pin in there as well, because I really do want that to line up. Okay, then that's not matched up very well, is it, Deborah? And turn that round. That's better. I don't know about you, but if I'm making anything like this, no matter how much I am so accurate with my cutting, I always end up with something growing, something not quite meeting. But it's fine because you can trim it down a bit. Lisa's got damp in the house. £2,000. Oh, gosh. Hello, Sue. Right, so again, say 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm actually using the edge of my foot as the seam allowance, so it's probably a tad over, but it doesn't really matter as long as you're consistent. I use these pins for everything, Linda. They're just, I can see them. It's the main reason. Hello, Jean in Malta. And I'm glad you're enjoying them. Thank you very much. So the nice thing about the lives, I know it takes longer, but you can talk to people and answer questions and things. I like it. Oh, I'm sure, Lisa, get one of your grandchildren with a football knocking around the house, soon have the plaster off it. Now, ideally here, we should be pressing this seam open. I'm not too fussed. I should do it because I'm supposed to, but personally, not too fussed about that. It's only a cushion cover. I'm not entering this into a competition or anything, but let's just do it anyway. Tiny seams. And the reason being, now I've got a nice little square in the middle there, and it'll cut down on the bulk, so that's the reason, but not too worried about that if you have a life. Okay, so now we've got this. With my nice little perfectly matched points in the centre. Alright, and then we're going to chop it up. So that at the moment is a 4 patch, and take this. Now we're going to make the 4 patch disappear. I've done loads of quilted tote bags with batting indigo in books. I'm sure we've got some on YouTube. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to cut 1.5 inches from the centre. Should I do 2? It is a bigger cushion, isn't it? We'll do 1.5. So I'm lining up that seam with my 1.5 line and chop. I'm going to turn it around. Oops. So you're always using your rotary cutter away from you. Again, line up the 1.5 inch mark and cut. I'd normally be standing up to do this. And again across in the opposite direction. So one more. A lot easier when you're standing because you can just walk around instead of turning your mat round. There we go. Okay, so let's separate these a little bit. We'll see what we've got. Okay, and then these bits in the middle, I'm going to turn them all over. And that's it. Now I'm going to sew them back together again. So I'm going to sew them in rows of 3 and then join all 3 rows together. So I wonder if I can actually put that down somewhere like that or like that. No, I can't. It's quite handy when you can have everything all laid out so you can give yourself a reminder as to which order they're going to go in, but I don't have enough room to do that here. So you can go there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Hello, Angela. Oh, hi, Leanne, picking a little boy up from school. Yes, Leanna, these prim little mini irons are good. Ask anybody. Love them. And it can belt out a fair bit of steam as well, to be honest. So, right, talk amongst yourselves if you like, just sew in straight lines now. So I'm just going to sew these pieces together. And with any kind of patchwork, I don't know about you, but I'll sew them, then I'll lay it back out just to make sure I get everything in the right order. Because several times I've picked up the wrong piece, or then you have to unpick. Something's upside down. Glenys, we're okay here. Everything is leaving the building perfectly intact, so it might be your Wi-Fi. I think it's brilliant, Donna. They're just so handy. I've got a couple. I've got one here, obviously, and I've got one down in the house where I do most of my sewing as well. And it's use it every day. Now with the little bits here, so I'm joining the second part like that because I've again ironed those in opposite directions. I've got that nice little buffer, so I can get the points perfect as I sew. It's quite easy not to pin, particularly with this fabric actually, it's easy not to pin it, because it kind of sticks to itself, which is quite handy. Feathers and down feathers. Yeah, I think, actually Karen, I think it's marketed by a few people, because I'm sure, don't Prim do the same iron as well? I'm pretty sure it's one of those. It's like sewing machines, to be honest, or any kind of electronics. You get the big companies in China that make them, and then they sell them on to other people who brand them. So that's probably what's happened here. Right. Last row, and then we'll join them all together. It does actually come together quite quickly. But it's effective, isn't it? You know, if you want to start a little bit of patchwork, think, oh, it looks really complicated. This is a really easy one to do. And actually, if you're going to make this into something bigger like a quilt, you've got big blocks, so it won't take very long for it to come together. Right, I'll put the finer one on and then I'll show you where we are. I'll need to iron those again. There we go. And then we'll get this zip. Oh, I haven't knotted my thread. I'm going to knot thread. It was so long ago, I'm sorry, I can't even remember who asked about knotting thread. But let's knot thread while I think about it, because I won't be doing any hand sewing later. Right. Have I lost you there? Gone quiet on Facebook. Okay, I'll get some coloured thread so you can see it. So, quilters knots they call them, but I don't do much quilting by hand. Anyway, so I'm going to thread the needle and then we'll show you. Is that going to be easier there? Maybe. So, you'll take, obviously, your threaded needle here and take the longest end and hold it so that the end of the thread is pointing towards the end of the needle. Can you see that okay? Maybe down there. Then you're going to, with your needle hand, grab hold of the end of the thread, wrap it around the needle 3 or 4 times, and then hold it with the opposite hand. So I'm holding where I've wrapped around in place, and then push the needle through and drag the knot down to the end of the fabric. That makes a nice little knot. Let me see if you can see that clearer if I do it this way. So you're making a French knot basically. Let me chop that off. So, needle and thread pointing towards each other. Grab hold of the thread with your needle hand. Wrap it around 3 or 4 or 5. The more you wrap it around, the bigger the knot's going to be. Then hold where you've wrapped it around with your opposite hand and then push the needle through, and you're dragging that knot all the way down to the end of your thread, like so. So you get a nice little knot, and then you can chop the end of that tail off if you wanted to. So that's how I do it.
Coffee, my darling.
I would love a coffee, thank you very much.
Everybody else has got one, I presume?
Oh, nobody else wants coffee.
Oh, right, okay.
No, different matter if you offered them gin. You know what this lot are like.
We've got plenty of gin.
Thank you. I keep making stains on the table with this. I'll have to make myself a coaster. With the knots, Leslie. What's happened with my Facebook? Everyone's gone blue. I wonder why. Right. Lisa's a teetotal, but she needs gin. So I've sewn these together like that. Let's give those a press as well. There we go. So this time I'm going to press to the centre. Don't have to be so meticulous about which way you're going to press things, but that's just the way, whoops, I'm going to do it. And then this one I'm going to press out. And then this one to the centre again. And that should help again with matching the seams up. Because that's the one thing that is quite important to think about this one, is that you get all of your points perfect, because it stands out if you don't. And then we'll sew those together in rows. I'm just going to refresh my Facebook. Everything's gone highlighted in blue, which is rather strange. I hope you don't disappear now I've done that. So I'm going to pin the middle of these, and there we go. So I'm just having a look. Oh, it's taken me right back to the beginning of your messages on Facebook. There we go. Okay. It's actually really quick. You know, you just kind of get used to doing it without even looking. The more you do it, the easier it gets. It's just, you know, previously I'd be wrapping that around my finger and then maybe I'm doing that and then doing this and then dragging it, and you either end up with a huge knot on the end or nothing. But that just makes a really nice little knot, and it's ever so quick. Hello, Bev in South Africa. Right, so right sides together. And again, I'm going to pin just in that centre seam. Anne's greyhound loves an afternoon cup of tea. I don't know what Bobbin would do if I offered a tea. Okay, and then we'll just make sure that seam's going to meet. That's it. And then we'll sew these together. So you can see it comes together quite quickly. Just making sure that's going to meet as I get to it. Concentrating now, you see, not talking. Yeah, so I can't say it's important to have your points match and then not match my points, can I? Mary's cats used to have to, really? Can't imagine Bobbin drinking. I'll try her. What are you shouting at me for now, Lisa? A shout out to Warren and Holly. Warren, Holly, hello! How you doing? What you doing? So that's that row, and then again right sides together with the next one, and just pin that centre bit. Right. So coffee by 6 AM says Karen, then water or I haven't had Ovaltine for a long time. Or oat milk until evening. Bobbin's really good, thank you, Ileana. We're off for a nice long walk after I've finished here today. It's a perfect afternoon for walking the woods, this one. All right, final one, then we'll iron it. I've got my coffee. Linda's just been in and brought it. It's too hot at the moment. All right, and sew across. So it seems like it's busy for this flannel. So what are you going to be making with it? I just think, dressing gowns or stuff like that I think would be so nice. But snuggly cushions, reading cushions for the kids would be nice as well. Hello, Dawn. Leslie's dog loves coffee. Really, it's strange. I haven't had Horlicks for years. Remember the Ovaltinies? Okay, I don't really care which way I'm pressing these seams now, so they're just all going to go to one side. Have you made children's pyjamas case? Children's pyjamas? No, I haven't, but like a drawstring bag. I've made, I did make a pyjama, have I made a pyjama case? No, I made a pyjama eater in Half Yard Kids, didn't I? But that's a nice, this is a bit, pyjamas. Oh, mind you, I can't recommend that because you will always see on the labels of any fabrics that you buy that they're not recommended for nightwear. Lisa, you just know I like to show my age on these lives. Remember the Ovaltine mugs? So I've got that. Oh look, one point that's not perfect, but do you know, I'm not bothered. Let me trim this down now because, like I said before, I don't know why, but it never quite ends up as square as I hope, no matter how careful I am. But my squares are too big anyway, so that's fine. And I've already cut out my backing fabric. So cushion was, what did I say that was, 13 inches across? Yes, so 13. I'm going to cut it to 14 inches because I'm going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance around the edge of this so I can accommodate the invisible zip. So let's lay that out flat. Does your patchwork twist like mine does? I don't know why that happens. So 14 inches I said, didn't I? So how I'm going to do that actually is to put my 7-inch line on the centre there. Then I can gauge exactly where to cut that along each side, so I know I'm going to be here and here, so 1 inch in from the edge. So I've got quite a lot of wiggle room on that one, didn't I? Ooh, go straight. So there. Need a bigger studio. That one. I like my cushion covers to be quite plump, or tight, to make a nice plump cushion. I don't know about you, but that's what I like. So 7 inches from there. Let me just move that along. It's here. And there. Then I've got a piece of backing for the fabric, a piece of fabric for the backing, I should say. I think I might need to press that again. And I'm using the check. So if you went for half a metre of each one of two, you'll easily be able to make 2 cushion covers, maybe one with the check back. I was just going to iron with the mouse. One with the check back and one with the plain back, easily, maybe even more than that. I got these and another one out of half a yard of the fabric that I'm using here, so that's better. That's all you wanted, wasn't it? A bit of a press. Oh, let's see. How many have you clicked the like? If you get a second and you quite fancy clicking the like button, it's very much appreciated, you know. Right. So my backing fabric, I need to cut to the same size. So I'm just going to use that as a template. Thank you, Sarah. Across there. Right, now let's have a look at this invisible zip. As I was saying before, it's the same technique as you would use if you were putting an invisible zip into a garment, apart from if it was in a garment, the top's going to be open. And of course we don't want anything open on a cushion cover. So the zip I actually have is, God, I'd forgotten it, is a little bit too long, as is always the case. So I want to leave a couple of inches at each end. So that's plenty of room to get the zip in. So from where the end of the zip is there, let's move that down a little bit more. Yeah, about 2 inches from each end. So let's chop that off. Now just be careful now that you don't take the slider all the way off, because there's nothing to stop it at the end. So I'm going to take this down. You'll recognise an invisible zip, by the way, because you know when you buy them, or if you've got a whole stash of zips, they're normally narrower than a regular zip, and you don't see the teeth on the outside. The teeth are all on the back, and generally they'll have this teardrop shape pull. So what we need to do, so the teeth have been wrapped around the edge of the zip tape, so that's the back, and we're going to have to pull that open because we want to sew inside where the teeth are here. Now you can get special invisible zipper feet, and yes, they're great and they make life a lot easier, but if you don't have one, if you're only going to do a zip, then don't rush out and buy one. If you're going to be making lots of things, or you're doing dressmaking or anything, then yes, do go out and buy one. Makes it a lot easier. But a regular zipper foot, or even with a standard foot, you could do this. So what I'm going to do is to roll the teeth, it's actually a coil, away from the zip tape, and I'm going to iron it. Just crease that back while it's still warm. So I don't hold the iron over it for too long, but you can fold that open and just iron the coil or the teeth away from the zip. That's going to help you. So this little iron is very hot and it's steaming. I'll just do this one again, didn't that one very well. So again, push the teeth away. They will come back again, don't worry. And give it a press. All right. You could put a couple of stitches in there, Dawn, yes, or you could put a blob of glue on it if you wanted to. Okay, so let's put it on the outer side first. So basically, this is how I like to kind of get my head around how it's going to work. That's the top, that's the bottom, and the zip needs to sit in the middle like that. So I've got the slider facing upwards. So I'm going to turn this over so that the raw edges of the fabric and the edge of the zip tape are together. If you've got some fabric glue sticks, then you could help keep that in place with a bit of glue. Just wipe the edges out. Hi Bob. Or you could pin it, that's up to you. Oh, she's in, she's out. And let's pop that across there. Again, if you wanted to measure that so that it's exactly even and central, then that's fine. And then we're going to sew just along the side of the teeth here. If you get too close, you can sew into the teeth, you'll have to unpick it. If you're too far away, then you're going to see the teeth on the outside. So just take your time and try and keep a nice straight line all the way down the inside of here. You won't ever be able to get to the end of an invisible zip, whether you've chopped the end off or not, because your machine just won't get past that, that stopper. So you're going to stop sewing about here. And with an invisible zip, it's the same if you're dressmaking. It goes in before you sew the seam. So like a regular zip, you sew your seam, you open it out, you put the zip in. This you don't, you put the zip in before the seam's sewn. Right, let me see. I'm normally like this when I'm sewing a zip in like this, so I can be really accurate, but I'll see how close I can get so you can still see what I'm doing. Where have you gone? There you are. So I'm folding this back. And just sewing as close to the teeth as I can, but without sewing through the teeth. It will happen. I sewed through the teeth this morning on the previous cushion that I made, but you know, unpick it, do it again, it's not a problem. So again, you won't get right down to the end of the zip, but just go, maybe pull that down a bit. Just go as far as you can. Like that. Now at this point, you can close the zip and just make sure you haven't sewn over the teeth. And when I turn that over, you can barely see the teeth on that side. So again, and I do this when I'm dressmaking too, I'm going to open it all out. Put my back fabric next to it. So that's how I want the zip to sit. And then I'm going to flip this all the way over. So I've got these two pieces. So the zip slide is facing down and these two pieces are together. And I'm just lining the edges up there so I can make sure that it's sitting in the same place. So again, let's pop a little bit of glue along there. Ooh, let's glue the table. This, if you haven't used it before, does disappear. It'll wash out, it'll wipe away, and it dries clear. But so it's quite handy that it's blue, so you can see where you're doing it, but it doesn't stay that way. All right, so let's pop this down here. And always sew from the same direction. So in this case, there you go, I'll need to change my zipper foot from the left hand side to the right hand side. And then just like before, roll the zip over and sew down the there's like a crease mark where the teeth have been folded over. So just keep doing that. So if you've got an invisible zipper foot, this automatically opens the zip out, so you don't need to iron it or anything. But we don't all have those. So again, as far as you can to the end of the zip. Sorry, is my head in the way there again? Had a tidy up the other day and completely moved everything around, and obviously I've moved the camera. Probably need me roots doing too. Right, so that's that. So again, I'm just going to make sure that I can close the zip and I haven't sewn through any of the teeth. So that is barely visible now. Well, it should be invisible. It's an invisible zip. Then we're going to take the two end bits. I've moved a little bit, but it doesn't matter. And where the seam is here, you now sew from the bottom up to that seam. So this zip needs to be out the way. So I can put, in fact, I'll keep my zipper foot on. So move you out the way, line up the edges there, and sew with the same seam allowance. So seam allowance isn't important, just go right up to there. If you can match those stitches, would be perfect. Yes. And then when you open it up, you don't see where the end of the zip is. Now obviously this is a cushion cover, so we've got the same thing to do on this end. So I'm just going to pull that zip open a little bit. And again, sew from the end down to that seam. As I was saying, with the seam allowances on something like this, it doesn't really matter. I'm using a 1/2 inch seam allowance because the zip tape's 1/2 inch wide and that fits the zip perfectly. If you're sewing this into a dress, bear in mind that you've probably got a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance or a 1.5 cm, so your zip is going to be narrower. So what I would do there would be to draw a line where your seam allowance is on your fabric, and then place the teeth of the zip over where the seam would be. So the zip will sit slightly away from the edge of the fabric. I haven't got another one to show you actually. I don't think I could show you that. Excuse me while I rummage in my drawers. I think I've only got an ordinary zip in there. Maybe we'll cover that another time. So I'm just going to press this. And then we'll show you how invisible my zip actually is. So there you go. So the only way you should be able to tell that there's a zip in there is because you can see the zip pull here, and that's how it's going to work. Right, so let's sew the rest of this cushion cover together. So right sides together, make sure that the zip is open because you'll need to turn it through. And we're just going to sew all the way around. And again, with this fabric, it kind of sticks to itself, so you don't have to worry about pinning too much. Ooh. Oh, come on, open up. Come on, up. There you go. Don't want to lose that. Oh, Carol, that sounds wonderful. I was saying earlier, it's quite a quick block quilt to make when you're using bigger blocks like this, isn't it? Right, so let's go all the way around the edge. I have done a YouTube video of an invisible zip, Alice. That was it's quite an old one now. But that was in the back of a dress, wasn't it? I don't think I covered the seam allowance on that one. I may be wrong, it's an old one, I can't remember. So, hello, Princess Morningstar. You are very late. We're almost done. Best glues together. Oh, is that English paper piecing, Chris? They are ideal for paper piecing. When I first started patchworking donkeys years ago, I did actually try using a Pritt stick. You can never get it off the paper, but these the glue sticks that are designed for use with fabric are perfect. And if you do want to get them off your paper, if you do find that they've stuck a little bit too much, just warm them with an iron. It peels away really easily. But you know, with invisible zips, God, what's going on? I actually find them easier to fit than a regular zip, and they look so much nicer. They look so much neater, I think. Hello, Carol. Doesn't make many lives, she says. I just want to say hi. Do come and say hello. You don't have to ask a question or come up with anything smart or anything. It's just nice to know that you're there. So just hello is really nice. Sarah, once you start with invisible zips, everything is going to be invisible zip, whether it needs one or not. Okay, so I've snipped off the corners just to make it a little bit neater. And do I have YouTube ones to watch? Oh, I've got only about 200 YouTube videos. I think that's all, but that should keep you busy for a while. Angela. Hello, Jan. Hello, Jane from Wisconsin. Right, so that's turned it the right side out. I'm going to give it another press. Got a little bit wrinkly while I was doing that. I'm going to shove out the corners as well. Do you know, I keep everything down here, so I'm all organised, but the one thing that you need is never where you thought you'd left it. I've got a prim turning tool somewhere. I use my tweezers instead now, just to push out the corners. Hello, Judy, glad you like the videos. Oh, Mandy's first time. We're here, Mandy, on Wednesday afternoons at 4 o'clock UK time and Saturday mornings at 11. Now on Saturday, I'm going to be making a crossbody dog walking bag. I haven't made one yet, so I'm not sure what it's going to be like. But you know, we did the poo bag, the little one, the other week. I'm going to make a similar kind of thing, but in a crossbody bag. Purely selfishly, because I think I need one. Hello, Gillian in South Africa. No, Margaret, the only reading cushion I've ever done it was actually my half-yard kids book. But so we could do that. I think Kim might have done once. Kim don't know. She's doing so much at the moment. She's actually working with Danelle, making some samples for them. So our house is full of Christmas fabrics at the moment. We have a Christmas tree up already, fully decorated. For photographic purposes only. Makes the postman smile, though he thinks we're just Christmas obsessed. A pink wooden plate. Oh! Matching oven gloves and apron to match it. Oh, to be two. One. Oh, gosh. That's a nice idea, though. So, we're done with the cushion cover. Let's pop the cushion in it. A zip and a 3 pocket bag. I don't see, you must be able to, John. I'll have to put some thought into that one. Right, there's my cushion pad. Anyway, this is the moment of truth, isn't it? Making sure it fits. I've not done a disappear and fall patch before, to be honest. Sophia, I've done a disappearing 9 patch, but I just thought this was something that's just so quick and so simple, and for a cushion cover it's quite effective, I think. Let's just squish that into the corners. Hello, Linda and Mablethorpe. I think that's a very well dressed cushion, and it's very soft and snuggly as well. So, Connie, oh hi Mornsel, hi Mornsel. Now when I was saying about hollow fibre cushions earlier, if you have, so just dragging a bag towards myself with my feet, pairing coffee, a little bit of hollow fibre, if your cushions pads don't quite meet the corners, there's nothing wrong at all in taking a little bit of toy filler and just padding out the corners, because otherwise they can kind of look a little bit flat and droopy. And that's actually something I think I've said before. I trained in upholstery a few years ago, and I was quite surprised that when I took up, because what you had to do is buy yourself a 3-piece suite that needed recovering, respringing, repadding, everything, the one that I bought, and then you go there and they taught you how to do everything. And when I took the covers off, there was loads of this. It wasn't toy filler, it must have been horsehair or something, but it just shoved into all of the corners. And I just thought, it's a bit of a cheats way. So no, apparently that's the way they did it. So feel free to stuff your corners. Hello Lynette in Tasmania. Okay, so that's that. Let's do this zip up. Oh, that's a bit of a squeeze. But I do love a plump cushion. There we go. There. So nice and tidy at the back. Could have been a bit closer to the teeth, to be honest, but that is quite a stretch quite a lot. Another way of doing it, actually, if you didn't want to put it on the side seam, would be to join 2 pieces of fabric together down the back, and then put the invisible zip on that bit. In which case you'll need to cut those pieces 1/2 inch wider to accommodate the seam that goes down the centre. But I think, look, I've got the big one and a little one. And I think they look quite nice together, don't you? You can imagine those on a bed or on the sofa, and the kids or you snuggling up to them at night when it gets cold and you've got your Ovaltine and your slippers on. Who else have we got? Oh, hi Heather. Oh, thank you. Love it when you tell everybody all about the channel. We've got over 250,000 subscribers now. That's an awful lot of people, isn't it? Okay, so a reminder really quickly, because I mentioned this right at the beginning and I think there's only about 10 of you there. We've got the mugs back in stock on the website, so lots of you missed out. I think we sold out on the same day they came in last time, but we have got them back in stock, so if you missed out last time, then now's the time to place your order for those. Saturday, again, crossbody bag, and I've got some lawn and viscose dressmaking fabrics to show you, and some, oh, there's a lurex that Kim's brought. I think these are on the website already actually, but I'll show you on Saturday anyway. It's like a very fine lurex jersey, like gold, and I'm imagining a top like this made out of that for Christmas, so that's that. And what else was I going to tell you? Oh, I'm expecting a delivery of mugs on Friday that I've designed. So I don't know if they'll be available by Saturday. That might be for next Wednesday. Just thought I'd drop that in there if you wanted a Debbie Shaw sewing mug. Got those coming up as well. Right, let me just check I haven't missed anybody from down here. Thanks, Kaz. Thank you, Liana. Glad, nice to have you company. I'm glad you joined me. Chevy. Thanks, Mary. Thank you, Leslie. A nice bitter yatta. Susan, it's a phase 8 one, but it'll be in the sale now because it's quite an old one. Thank you, Jane. I know, Mary. I can't keep my mouth shut, can I? There's so much coming up. But I do know they're coming. Yeah. Can you hear the pigeons? We're surrounded by conifer trees at the back, and it's full of them, just full of pigeons, and occasionally they just come and land on the roof, and then you can hear them walking around as well. I love them. They're a bit messy, but I do love them. Cindy here, it is 9 minutes past 5 in the afternoon. Thanks, Lisa. I shall see you again on Saturday. Oh, Sheila, you fell asleep. Was it so dull? Okay, I shall see you again on Saturday, so do take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget, if you're ordering anything from the website, to put that half yard Sewing Club members discount code in there as well. And I shall see you again on Saturday. I'll do my YouTube for this hopefully on Friday, so that shouldn't take too long. So if you just joined us and you think you watch it back, but you don't want to listen to all of the chat, then you can watch again next weekend. Oh, Leanna, blood tests are easy. I don't mind a blood test as long as you don't look. All right, I'm going off. I'm going to go and walk the dog. I shall see you again on Saturday. Thanks for joining me today. Bye bye.